Greetings everyone, it's me again, Ashra from Bloodmoon Pictures, and welcome back to Pesterquest, where today we will meet Jane Crocker. As always, at the first 10 minutes of the stream, I will take 10 minutes to wait until everyone who wants to see or wants to watch arrives, even though most of the people will turn in to the stream over the duration of the stream anyway. But today I just needed a little break before the stream as well, because I spent the last 2 hours cooking, and now I don't even... the food is right in front of me, and then I noticed, oh, it took 2 hours. Well, I'm fucked. I have to... the game's out now. I need to stream. So, I'm sitting here in front of my food, hungry, and not being forced to stream, but I kind of want to stream on time again. But, yeah. That means my food will get cold. And I don't know why it took so long. I noticed it did took longer than it usually did. So, I suppose my stove is broken. That is the only explanation, because it took for freaking ever to fry those potato pancakes? I don't know if there's an actual term for that in English. Let me check, actually. Not doc. Dict. Dict.cc. Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. There we go. Potato paradox? What is that? Hash browns. They're called hash browns. Those are hash browns? Oh. Yeah, potato pancake is a valid thing to call them as well. But those are called hash browns? I thought hash browns were like, well, something to get high on, if you know what I mean. Like, I thought hash browns are hash brownies. Interesting. Either way, I'm gonna reload the tab. And excuse me while I do this, but I just need to try if they actually turned out okay. They aren't as dark as I wanted them to be. They're pretty light. Okay. Hi there, Sergeant Matuna. Eating is more important than streaming? Well, generally, yes. I know. Probably Jane isn't that interesting to most people, or likable by most people after what happened in the epilogues and maybe even Homestuck 2. I don't know. I haven't looked into Homestuck 2 that much. But yeah, eating in general is more important than streaming. But I'm not like entirely wasting the food and not eating it at all because of streaming. I would just eat it later and a little bit in the start. And they actually turned out pretty okay. Until this day, I didn't know that those were called hash browns in English. The more you know. Ah, damn it, I only have a fork. I didn't brought a knife. But either way, we will wait a little bit for people to arrive. 10 minutes in the beginning, as always. I know, oh my god, eating on stream. How evil could you be? So, yeah. Yeah, I guess everything that had happened after the initial Homestuck kind of scared people away from Jane. Understandable. But that's the developers, that's the writer's fault. Not Jane's fault. But yeah, let's see how she turns out in Pesterquest. I hope she turns out... okay. I hope she turns out more canon than beyond canon, because that would kind of suck, but yeah. And I have read a lot of comments, like a lot of mixed comments and a lot of fighting beneath the reveal of Jane from the Hiveswap, or the Pesterquest developers and the post. There was a lot of like, evil, blah, why would you even consider her, or wow, she's a land whale now, well, whatever, rah, rah. Like, wow. Like, half of those comments weren't even about, like, the changes of her, but surprisingly, half the comments were angry about her being designed, well, chubby, basically. I mean, there's a difference between what the general perspective of chubby is and what full-on chubby is. She is shown full-on chubby. But like, a few friends of mine would be considered chubby, even though if, medically speaking, they have like a medium normal weight. They're not underweight, they're not overweight, they're just normal. Because after the Epiglows, people like Jane, yeah, basically. I mean, funny enough, those weren't not most of the negative comments. The most negative comments were about her being chunky, which was, Jane has always been chunky. Well, always at least been not like what society would consider normal sized. She was always a little bit chubby. Like, that was like one of the main things that Caliborn was making fun of her about. People only draw Jane chubby because she bakes cakes a lot. Well, that's not entirely it. Again, she has been called multiple things that are the opposite of slim, basically. Like, come on, fly, not now. But yeah, she has been often called like fat and chubby and whatever, and she has been always drawn with a little bit more than the other characters. Like, she always had like a little bit thicker arms, a little bit thicker thighs than other characters, just like a tiny bit. But yet again, all Homestuck characters, if we consider like their actual body types that were shown in Homestuck, like the real body types, like the exact real, then they would be all horribly underweight. But that's beside the point. So you always have to add like a little bit plus to what was shown in Homestuck, from like the typical sprites and like the symbolic showing of people. But yeah, like, I don't get the entire thing about she bakes a lot, which makes it logical for her to be fatter, like more chunky, more chubby. Like, that is not a good reasoning. Like, just because you bake a lot doesn't mean you eat a lot of chubby making stuff. Like, you could, like, for example, I know 3 or 4 people that bake a lot and love baking, but they are considerably normal or either even slim. And then I know a lot of people who do not enjoy baking at all and barely even look at cake, and they are chubby. So, and that's not like that's not like to put it in perspective. No, that is actually the only way I know it. Like, I do not know one chubby person who enjoys baking or cake that much, which is weird if you think about it. I know, I like chubby Jane. It's nice to see different body types. Well, Momo, though I agree with you that I like seeing different body types and chubby Jane is cute, there has been a really big increase on chubby or considerably chubby people in the Homestuck universe. Like, I wouldn't have minded if it would be like literally like diverse and in every direction. Like, those are more muscular, those are more slim, those are more in that direction, and that. But there has been a significant increase in making characters more chubby on the female side, which is a little bit weird, but it's okay so far. Like, they haven't overdone it. Like, if they had made Jade and Rose and Vriska, maybe, but that is a totally different art style, so who knows. If they made these three characters really chubby, like at least as chubby as Terezi was, I would have been like, wait a minute, it looks like you're pushing on a gender here. But so far, it's okay. It's just a little bit more in direction chubby, which is okay, but not necessary. Let's put it that way. Like, different and diverse is fine and great and dandy, but if you want diversity, then actually make it diverse and not all in one direction. But yeah, it's not that way. It's not. Like, we have normal typed Jade and Rose and Nepeta, arguably other characters as well, and Kanai as well, but yeah. Skinny Stuck is the worst. Yeah, Skinny Stuck, like, especially for Jane and some other characters, I can't think of anyone right now, but especially for Jane, Skinny Stuck just doesn't work. But yet you gotta, what do you define as skinny or skinny stuck? Like, normal body type? Is that skinny already for you? Who knows? But yeah, I've only seen the female characters chubby, the male characters have only been skinny. Yes, Sergeant Batuna, that's something that I like, that sprung into my mind as well. Like, for some reason, the male characters have been made seemingly more attractive in general. I don't know how else to put it, but they all seemed a little bit more pushed into the direction of attractive. Like, some of the characters don't look like 13-year-olds, but like 16-year-olds, a little bit in the more attractive side, and that was just like, it just provoked a thought. That's all. I didn't had an opinion about it. I didn't thought much about it. It just provoked the interesting thought in my head. Here's my take. Crocker, Tavros, and Gamzee should have been chubby too. Gamzee eats a lot of pies. Momo, there's a point to argue about Gamzee, because we don't know exactly what is in those pies, so we don't know if eating a lot of them would automatically make you more chubby. Carcat, I can get it. Tavros, of course, he is unable to move around a lot, so it would be like a bit more logical if he eats more that he could be chubbier. But in like Trollian culture, I would guess that the higher the case they are, the more likely they are to become chubby, because the lower on the case they are, the less food, the less money they have, so they have less money to make like to get like a lot of food that might be making people chubby, and you also have to fight for survival a lot more. So, like, for example, in Middle Ages, all the poor people were actually pretty, like, skinny and or trained, while the rich people were all chubby and even fat. So maybe that's they're high on sugar in game. I don't know. We don't know, actually. I don't think they are, but yeah, I don't think they are, because maybe it's like just flour, like flour and sopa slime, and that's it. But milk, the sopa pies are generally just sopa, which is more of a liquid substance. So yeah, so far. And in the Pesterquest route, flour was mentioned. I can't hear what's going on because I'm in class, but I just want to see the route log. When will it start? We'll start now. It will start now, actually. I've been going on for way longer than I wanted to. In Gamzee's route, Mary said the pies were very sweet. Don't recall it, but if you say so. Okay, volume 11, the call of leadership. The call of leadership? Oh, I'm getting bad vibes already because of this title. Oh, Gamzee doesn't really work out, but he does train on using a unicycle, so either way. It's a beautiful moonlit night on Alternia. The sky is clear, a cool breeze is blowing, and even the unbearable screeching of the steel-throated bat crickets sounds a little sweeter than usual. What? Steel-throated bat crickets. Okay. And yet, a moment of panic hangs in the air. Okay. Didn't expect a Crocker to show up. Dave, Oh, by the way, I'm feeling like I might get sick, and my throat really is, like, sore for some reason. It really feels weird, so I won't be able to do voices. I just realized by trying to do Crocker's voice. Dave, are you okay? Hey. Oh, God. What has she done? She? Dave? Please tell me that's just grub sauce. Please just be grub sauce, okay. Crocker, stop being so melodramatic. It wasn't even me who did it. What the fuck? Okay, fine. It was my fault, I admit it. But I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, Crocker, it's no biggie. I mean, this is obviously the shittiest situation I could possibly be in right now. And like, my lawyers will be in touch. Don't even think that they won't. But also, it's literally fucking grub sauce, so chill for 2 seconds. Oh, thank God. Yeah, why? Dave is... now that I think about it, I don't know. Maybe one of the Nepeta endings? Or we brought him back to Alternia after whatever. Like, one of the Nepeta good endings was that Dave was here. So... like, I know the idea of me having to swap out my salt, ketchup, and crusted pants is getting you all hot and bothered under that sweater, but damn. This is a picnic, dude. They're children present. Yeah, you are children! And just like that, everything's alright. You have single-handedly revolutionized the art of picnicking on Alternia. You've got a huge checkered blanket, a car-sized wicker hamper, an unholy quantity of foods in Tupperware containers, a lovely crowd of your best and most recently acquired friends, everything one could possibly need. Shit's quaint as all fuck out here. Just fucking all of them, what the heck? So how many tentacles would you say she has, roughly? Let's see. It's okay, take your time. My interest is, purely scientific. Oh, don't do this. Oh, wow. Yes, precisely. Thank you, Kanaya. This is part of my studies in the field of cryptozoology. It's hardly an exact science, but you can help us make it exacter. Well, that's the problem. I really don't think there's a definite answer. She just has so many. Fascinating. Everyone seems to be having a really great time. You're a pretty good picnic host, if you do say so yourself. You let yourself lie back on the blanket and relax. I mean, we definitely like jumped in time where MSPA really just decided to hurl everyone on Alternia and have a picnic. So, yeah, a lot of went down that we didn't see, apparently. Hold up. Talking about bulges? No, talking about literal tentacles of a literal tentacle monster. Nepta, could you pass me one of those beautiful green pies, please? Oh, sure, let me just... It's okay, I got this. Dude. Step off, Lamau. She didn't ask you for help. Everyone's getting along so well. Well, I didn't ask for your opinion on whatever the mid-blood human female wanted my help or not. Oh my god, did you seriously just call her that? What is wrong with you? Guys? Humans don't even have different blood colors. You the tool. Simply enjoying one another's company. Alright, that does it. I've had enough of this wishy-washy lawn meal nonsense. And I've had enough of you. Oh, thanks, Nipita. No problem. He shouldn't die. Can you, like, not fight on the freaking picnic? Why don't you make me? It would be my pleasure. Wait, what's going on over there? Oh dear god, no, not now. This is a disaster. You've got to find some way to stop this before everything you've worked for collapses under the weight of pointless chitty boy drama. You don't have a moment to lose. What's better than this? Guys being aliens, allies. Oh, hi there, Gamzee. Don't mind you, you're just trying to stop a picnic emergency. Hey, hold on, sister, let's not be hasty. Right now we're witnessing the birth of the greatest and, dare I say, most righteous miracle of them all. Gender motherfucking equality. Huh? And just like that, everything breaks apart. You wake up alone. It's a cold, dark night on Alternia. The sky is overcast, a harsh wind is blowing, and the only other sound to be heard is your own breathing. Panicked, shaky, you curl up a little tighter in your puddle of blankets in the corner. You try and think back to the wonderful dream you were having, but now it all seems ruined. Typical Pesterquest. That was just a whole roundabout. But it was only a dream. So valid as everything else then. You are only trying to take a short rest from fomenting revolutionary sentiment among your peers and fixing all their problems, which has which, as it turns out, is a full-time job. I just wanted to indulge your imagination for a while and skip it to the part where everyone's happy already. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It all seemed so real, so full of potential. Like you could get there in an instant if only you tried a little harder. But now it hits you like a cold, wet circus pie filled with cement. Your dream of hope was nothing more than that. With no basis in reality or accurate characterization, some things are simply too good to be true, and your subconscious clearly knew that all along. I mean... yeah, let's not dive into that. I would be talking for an hour if I tried to take that apart. It hurts, and you don't know whether to laugh, cry, or just get really, really angry about it. You've made some wonderful friends over the last few weeks. Months? It's been such a hectic whirlwind of non-stop amicability, you're not even sure how long you've been going. You've achieved so much on your quest. You know that for a fact. It was a dream since in the dream. Was a dream because Tavros wasn't there, obviously. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. That is, and Tavros wasn't there at all. Yeah. Activius wasn't there. Activius wasn't there either. But maybe he was just not shown. Maybe they just didn't have anything to say. Neither of my boys were there. Oh yeah. Tavros and Activius were too busy kissing. Oh god, no. And John wasn't there as well, yeah. You've made... okay, I'll rewrite that. But now looking around this empty room filled with the ghosts of memories from a lifetime ago, you can't help but feel despondent. Maybe there are some things you won't ever be able to fix. Man, this blows. For some reason, your thoughts turn to John. He was conspicuously absent from your dream. Oh, so he actually was absent. It feels like you haven't seen him for ages. You miss him. Without really thinking about it, you pick yourself up. You've had enough of this horrible planet for now. Your friends here will be alright without you for a while. You tell yourself that a few times, just to make sure you believe it. And then... zap. You materialize in the pleasantly familiar suburban neighborhood, standing in front of a pleasantly familiar house. It must be late fall by now. There are barely any leaves left on the trees, and there is a chill in the air. But your heart fills with warmth at the prospect of hanging out with your old friend John again. While your newer friends have all been fun to spend time with in their own ways, you can't help but feel a special kind of fondness for John. It's not like you play favorites with your chums or anything, but maybe the fact that he was the first friend you met on your journey sets him apart from the others. It's nice to be back on Earth, too. You missed being able to go out in the sunshine. Your eyes wander a little, taking in the trees, the grass, the houses, before settling on the mailbox in the yard. A worrying thought occurs to you. Maybe, in getting so caught up with meeting so many new people, John has forgotten all about you. Surely your friendship wouldn't have diminished so quickly. But were you really all that close to begin with? You still feel bad about having thrown his birthday present in the sewer all that time ago. That was just such a shitty thing to do. In more ways than one. You were a really bad friend to John before you were friends with John. You're suddenly overcome with the urge to make it up to him. Instead of making a new friend today, why not try being a better friend to one you already have? Taking a peek at the mailbox, there seems to be something inside. Pilfer the post or reconsider. Ladies and gentlemen, our first choice to go around. I just hope that everything is set up alright, but yeah. Which should we on? Pilfer pilfer the post or reconsider, while I take another bite of my hash browns. Two pilfers. 3 pilfers. We have 3 pilfers so far. Man, they're cold already. No wonder. Oh no, they're still warm. What? It has been half an hour and they're still warm. I mean, I literally put them from the pan and onto the plate and went into the room, looked at the clock and was like, damn, I gotta stream now. Okay, Pilfer seems to be the one who won. The one who won? Yes, that's the... Sounded weird for a moment, so let's pilfer the post. Yeah, that's an excellent idea. John will be so happy that the mail came with no mishap, and so grateful that you, his trusted pal, were able to make it happen. Perhaps you could even pretend it's an apology gift you got him. Wow, you've gotten so good at being a friend by now it's not even real. There's basically no way this plan can backfire. You reach a hand inside the mailbox to grab the package and then everything goes... dark? What? Did I forgot something? Did I forget something? Included by Jack. Well, they never entered Spurb, so Jack and Co. don't even exist technically. But the freaking mailbox just exploded. Jane's mailbox was rigged to blow up. When Jane opened the mailbox, it exploded. That was an actual thing in Homestuck. Oh god. G-Cat saved her. Damn, it has been so long since I read, like, Jane's introduction. Or at least this part of her introduction. I, like, crawled all over Homestuck every now and then, but... this one escaped my mind. Who rigged it, though? Dad? Either way, it literally backfired. In an explosion in our face. Vaughn came here, that was a little bit weird. But now we're gonna reconsider. On second thought, that's a terrible idea. Like, holy shit, that's bad. You take a moment to slap yourself around the face for a few minutes, just to rub it in. How could you be so stupid? The kind of depravity that leads one to desecrate the sanctity of a friend's mailbox is what got you into this mess in the first place. Oh, huh. Looks like the mailman forgot to put up the, the thing, the flappy wingy doodad. The bright red arm dealie on the side of the mailbox. You are quite certain that this thing is supposed to be up when there's mail to be retrieved. That is like literally a quote from Homestuck. Even an idiot could tell you that much, and you are the first-rate idiot. You carefully raise the little red flag immediately out of the corner of your eye. You spy movement in an upstairs window. It must be John, scoping out the mail again. Quick as a flash, you zap yourself out of sight and behind a nearby bush. A white cat is hanging out back here. Whoa. It hisses at you, but you let a wave of crackling retcon energy dance across your palms and the kitty vanishes. It literally just straight up disappears. That's okay. Fine, whatever. Was there ever, like, crackling energy connected to this power? It is a truth universally acknowledged that cats can do whatever the hell they want. Except for taking this hiding spot, that is, which you have now commandeered in the name of friendship. You know, it was one of the agents, one of the agents, or Condi rigged it? Well, Condi or one of the agents. Kind of makes sense. I have to reread the entire thing, but whatever. Oh, ho ho ho. This is a much better plan to surprise John. You can't believe you didn't think of it before. You know that he loves pranks, and what better prank than to be ambushed by a dear friend? You hope you're still his dear friend. Oh god, you're getting nervous again. You hear the door open. Shoot, here he comes. Wait, this isn't John. Oh goodness no, why? It appears to be some kind of famous detective type individual. Okay. Or at least someone in a famous detective disguise. But what's more, you get the strange impression that the person underneath the disguise isn't John either. Whoever it is, they make a beeline for the mailbox. Oh shit. Maybe you're watching another mailbox robbery in action. That would explain the need for a disguise, you guess. They reach out their hand. All of a sudden, several things race through your mind unbidden. The smell of burning, a flash of light, pain. Without thinking, you spring into action. We remembered our past self dying. Oof! You grab the interloper and zap inside the house. You both materialize in midair and collapse in a heap on the floor. Outside you hear the telltale sound of an exploding mailbox, because for some reason you know what those sound like. Phew, that was a close one. Oh lordy, that's smarts. What? That's smarts? What on earth just happened? Your companion sits up in a bit of a daze. It looks like the disguise got knocked off in all the kerfuffle. Your hunch was right on the money. This is definitely not John Egbert. She does look oddly familiar though. You take a look out of the window, down into the yard below. Yep, it's just like your ears told you. Where once there was a mailbox, there is now a smoldering wooden stump, surrounded by debris. It's a sight to bring a tear to any mailman's eye, fake or otherwise. She freaking... That's a weird perspective. That perspective makes it look like she's holding a freaking frying pan and not her spoon. Spoon is so big, yep. That's a freaking spoon! You can fill an entire meal into that spoon! You turn back around to find the stranger standing over you, looking thoroughly disgruntled. She's pointing a large red spoon directly at your chest. It doesn't really come off as all that threatening, you have to be honest, although she could probably do you at least some form of injury with it. The injury likely wouldn't be all that serious, but you try to take it seriously anyway. Just be polite. Now hold on just a moment, Buster. Who are you? What are you doing in my bedroom, and what in the blue blazes is going on? Come on, spit it out. Oh no, you hate being put on the spot. And the first question was such a tough one too. Who are you? It's something you don't have definite answer to, even after all this time. Gosh, she does seem awfully confident with that spoon. You begin to entertain the thought that this girl might simply decide to beat you to death with it. You're finding it hard to think amid all the confusion. Didn't she... Didn't she say that this is her bedroom? You are dead certain that this was John's house. It is John's house. It even has the tires swing and everything. And this girl, who even is she? John's never mentioned having a sister or anything before. But looking around the room, it's obvious that she lives here. And there's no trace of any of John's things. Did he move house without telling you? What thought makes you so impossibly sad? Well, if you won't talk, I suppose I'll have to suss out the truth myself. She looks at you very carefully for a moment before glancing over at one of the posters on the wall. It's a black and white picture of what looks like a daring group of detectives. They're drawn in a fairly minimal style, with round ovoid heads. Immediately, her face lights up in recognition. Oh, I see. Hoo-hoo, mum's the word. She taps the side of her nose knowingly and winks, and you realize that she's trying to let you know that she knows something that you supposedly both know. But all you really know is that you have no idea what it is. Oh, you're very good. Pretending not to know that which you know what I know that we both know. That was a mind twister. No, you're telling her you haven't got the foggiest clue what she's talking about. Knowing stuff? How would anyone possibly accuse you of such a thing? Oh, it's alright, I won't tell anyone. Keeping incognito is of utmost importance for the problem sleuths like us. Always a pleasure to meet a fellow fan. She seems to be under the impression that you're some sort of cosplayer. Either that or an undercover agent of some sort. Oh, what the hell. You might as well roll with it. This'll be easier than pretending to be a postal worker at any rate. Hold on a moment. I've got just the thing for a fellow gentle person of taste. She puts the spoon away for a moment, which is a relief, then whips another copy of the poster and a pen out of nowhere. Signs it? You've never met or heard of this girl before, and she's just straight up giving you her autograph. You take a look at the signature. The name reads Jane Crocker. Huh, you guess this girl's name is Jane then? Now that we've got that out of the way... Oh, I get it. So that whoever is listening doesn't get it. Doesn't like... Okay, that was a secret-y thingy. I actually did that once when I thought someone was listening to me uninvitedly. Nice though it is to make your acquaintance. That doesn't explain what you're doing in my house. Or come to think of it, how we even got here. Oop, that was the wrong button. Well, it's all very simple actually. Just a boring everyday example of an innocent bystander stepping in to save an unwitting teen from a parcel bomb with their zappy hell treasure powers. Nothing weird at all. You zap around the room a bit by way of demonstration, ending up back where you started. Transportalization technology. I knew various competitors of ours had been developing something like that for a while, but I had no idea they were already doing field tests. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me. So, she's just taking that? Just like, oh, okay, cosplayer who can teleport, sure. That is normal. Jane's room wasn't blue in Homestuck. Yeah, because basically all humans' walls were white. Entirely. So, I guess that is just like a symbolizing thing, so they don't actually have to be white. Similar how their skin color is not actually like paper white. Like they have actual skin colors. Unless it was actually mentioned that the walls were actually white, but Yeah. Pre-epilogue Jane makes me happy. Pre-epilogue Jane, yes. Momo, I agree with you for them not existing. But a parcel bomb, you say? You gesture out of the window at the sad, obliterated remains of the mailbox. There was nothing anyone could do to save it. Or its contents. Oh shoot. Jane wasn't expecting any extremely important deliveries, was she? Potentially in the form of a significant birthday gifts or a copy of a mysterious computer game? You mean the Spurb Alpha? I'm not surprised you've heard about it. It isn't due for another week, though. Oh, well, that's a relief then. No, I'm done. I wouldn't go quite that far. Alpha notwithstanding, the fact remains that someone tried to blow me up. Okay, so some harm done. Gee, the nerve of some people. You cannot fathom who could possibly want to do such a thing. And especially to someone so as harmless and personable as Jane here. Oh, come on. One doesn't like to state the obvious, but if I had to guess, it's probably related to my being in line to inherit one of the largest corporations on the planet. I'm trying to remember something. I know it was like the Crocker baking empire and all. That is what's meant, but I'm trying to getting my timelines together again in my head. Volume 15, the mailbox. Possible Condesc cameo? I don't think so. At least not on this route. Jane's chat color isn't accurate? I mean, I don't see much of a difference, but yet I'm not very keen on telling, like, different shades of the same colors apart. Crocker Corp has its enemies, there's no question about that. Oh, of course, that's why her surname was so familiar. Jane is the new face of the Betty Crocker Company. You don't know what you expected, considering what's happened on your journey so far. You should have been this sort of thing, seen this sort of thing coming. Speaking of which, you wonder aloud if anything like this has ever happened before. The only thing that could make this any more surprising is if Jane had been set similarly life-threatening cargo on any previous occasions. Oh yes! Why, we got mailed something similar just last week, in fact. Okay. You try not to think too hard about the fact that Jane apparently fell for the exact same trick 2 weeks in a row. Father was out in the yard about to take his car out back for soak. Then the blessed mailbox went up in smoke. It was quite the shock. Ever since then, he's been a bit antsy about me checking the mail myself, but today it arrived while he was out. Good thing too. He would have thrown a fit if he'd known. I'm barely allowed out of the house as it is. I'm sure he means well, but it can come off as a bit overprotective sometimes. I mean, if you freaking have people littering or loitering, littering, bombs all over the place, I would be just as protective. It's plumb ridiculous. A grown lass full of vim and vigor can take perfectly good care of herself. You literally almost got blown up. Like, you literally almost got blown up. Just mere moments ago. That doesn't seem very confident. Confidence indulging, whatever. Jane's wow, that's a controversial Janey moment right here. Right there. Disobeying Father Crocker? Casey Egbert? You don't want to pass hasty judgment on someone's familiar situation, but it sounds like Jane's father is just trying to keep her safe. It can't be easy constantly deflecting death threats away from someone determined to walk right into them. Where's her sense of self-preservation? I suppose it might seem strange to the uninitiated, there we go, but you sort of learn to accept it after a while. See, that is one of the things I was talking about in previous streams. People adapt quite fast to things to see as normal. But she's a little bit too good old jolly about it. For human standards, where literally everyone else on the planet does not live under those circumstances. I've been dodging death ever since I can remember. People seem really determined to do me in. I simply can't explain it. Huh? Okay. Jesus, wow. That must be pretty rough going. God, that sounds awful actually. Being the eminent ruler of an empire must come with a fair number of people who want you gone. It's a baking empire, so... Thinking back to your encounter with Pfeffery, you suppose that you were recently part of such an attempt yourself, in a manner of speaking. You decline to mention this to Jane, and being reminded of your time on Alternia causes you to lapse into an uncomfortable silence. Jane looks around a little awkwardly before breaking it. So, not that I'm ungrateful for the fact that you appear to have rescued me from certain peril, but... Oh, right, of course. You're intruding in a complete stranger's home. You'd almost forgotten that this is the first time you and Jane ever met. Your heart sinks as you consider that between the vastness of the universe and the determination of those attempting to murder her, this might be the last time you ever meet her as well. Jane offers to show you out. On the way downstairs, you politely ask her how long it's been since her family moved here. Does she know if anyone called John used to live in this house? She gives you a strange look before gesturing to a... Oh god, is that a corpse by the fireplace? You take a moment to process the fact that Jane has a stuffed human person mounted on a plinth in her living room. Well, Jane did the same. Jade did the same. Damn, I know the person, but my mouth keeps messing up those both names. That's Grandpa Egbert. That's John as an old man. She gives you, yeah. She says it's her pop-up, which you guess means grandfather. It's kind of hard to parse some of the vocabulary Jane uses sometimes. Anyway, the guy's name was John, and you can't help but see a resemblance to your good friend Egbert. You've encountered enough coincidences by now to know that this must be him somehow. You must have traveled forwards in time by accident, or some such. This is the only possible explanation. You try very hard not to have a whole mental breakdown about your apparently long-dead friend, but sadly not hard enough. However, at the sight of your various expressions of horror, shock, and confusion, Jane perks up considerably. Did you know my dear old pop-up? You should have said something. He was a popular fellow, so I suppose it was only a matter of time before one of the friends from his performing heydays came to visit. That's right, Jane. Keep talking about him and your friendship in the past tense. This is totally helping you feel better. By which you mean to say, yes, Jane, you're absolutely right. You are an old entertained friend of her pop-ups who just so happened to be visiting the area in the middle of circus touring season. You try not to be too insulted when Jane eats the line up without a moment's hesitation. Sure, yes. Well, I don't think he was called Crocker. I think he was still called Egbert. Well, if one all pop-up Crocker's Pauls is here... Yep, okay, never mind. I said that. I suppose I can't just turn you out on the street like some nobody. And Papa would never forgive me for giving a family friend the cold shoulder. You simply must stay a while longer, I insist. You cannot help but agree enthusiastically, and here you were thinking this volume was over before it really got started. Gee, this makes a nice change. You've grown accustomed to putting in a lot of hard work to score some hangout time with various people on your journey, but all it took to convince Jane was a pre-established connection with her apparently very wealthy relatives. It just goes to show you off. I'm afraid I haven't fulfilled my duties as host very well so far, but I'm determined to change that starting now. But what to do? We've been playing the game of friendship long enough by now to sense an important decision approaching. You take a quicker inventory of Jane's important character details, you mean interests and personality traits. She seems to have a passion for the lost art of sleuthing and famous detectives of years past. Her imminent inheritance of a baking conglomerate and expert spoon-wielding likely indicate that she knows her way around a cake or two as well. Practice some self-care or solve a mystery. Why don't the two of you do one of those two? Which one should we choose? Again, ladies and gentlemen, we strive to get the fails out of the way first, so we leave the best for the last. Commit self-care. Commit self-care sounds a little bit weird, weird wording, but okay. We have 1 self-care, 1 mystery, 2 self-care. Come on, guys. Only 3 votes, full votes, which makes it up to 3 self-care and 1 mystery. So far, self-care is winning. I just thought of your name, Bucket of Milk, and was thinking like, what would Ekvius say to that? He'd probably sweat and drop dead in confusion. Okay, so far self-care is winning, so I'll wait 10 seconds more and take another bite of my hash browns. I hope hash browns is not slang for wheat brownies. Because the translator told me these are hash browns, so... Okay, self-care it is. Casey Egbert, what is with YouTube? He would be uncomfortable. He would be uncomfortable, but maybe into it. Who knows? It's milk after all. Practice some self-care. You know what? All this heavy stuff has really been getting to you recently. Christ. You left Alternia to get away from the hell murdery nonsense. But if anything, it feels just as stressful back here on Earth with Jane. Sending my messages more than once... Oh, well, it didn't show up that in... Oh, there it is. Yep. 1 message got sent twice. But yeah, I had similar problems as well. The adrenaline rush from the impromptu rescue is beginning to wear off, and your legs start to go all wobbly. You slump down against a wall, exhausted. Man, this really took a lot out of you. Oh gracious, are you alright? Yeah, you just need a minute. Oh god, this is so weird and embarrassing. How come it's only once you were out of the bad situation that you stopped being able to cope with it? I'm sorry for bashing against the microphone. I had to get a fly off my hash browns. You try to pull yourself together, but then your stomach growls like an aggressive, hungry cat. Pumpkin, they're calling you out. Come to think of it, you haven't eaten anything in you don't even know how long. Jane gives you a sympathetic, almost grandmotherly look. Oh, it sounds like someone's hungry. Sounds like someone's hungry! That's such a memeable thing right there. You know, I was planning on baking something after taking care of the mail. Although I guess that took care of itself in the end. So since plan A seems to have gone up in a pillar of smoke, let's move swiftly on to plan B. Fancy helping me whip a cake into submission? We can't call it a thank you for saving my bacon back there. Gosh, that sounds like a wonderful idea. You feel like you could eat a horse, or even better, a horse made out of cake. You can't even remember the last time you had a cake, in fact. Not cow... well... You would consider German cake and pie are pretty close to each other, definition-wise, so... Volume 12 is Jake, Volume 13 is Roxy, and Volume 14 is Dirk. Well, I don't know about Jake and Roxy, but taking the last volume for Dirk seems reasonable. But yeah, that also seems reasonable, like first the same time and then the later time people. It is unconfirmed, but it seems likely. It seems likely. Oh, no, that isn't just the saddest thing I've ever heard. Jane sets you up with an apron and starts pulling ingredients and utensils out of various cupboards and drawers. Seeing the various colorful bags and boxes all lined up on the kitchen counter fills you with excitement. The idea of collaborating with Jane to make something delicious gets your heart racing. Surely there could be no better path of friendship than this. Once she seems sure that she's got everything you need, Jane fiddles with the oven for a few seconds. Just need to set the oven to preheat. Okay, there we go. Now let's get cracking, shall we? You look around expectantly, hoping to see a recipe book or similar amid the collection of baking equipment. Oh, no, we don't need the one. My junior Better Master Bowel Buster Steering Solution 50,000 will do the trick just fine. A passionate burning fire seems to ignite in Jane's eyes as she brandishes her trusty red spoon. With a well-practiced motion, she adjusts a series of buttons and dials and on the side, and a vaguely feminine robot voice begins to speak out of it. Triple chocolate layer cake, medium rare, begin regime. Jane nods to herself and presses another button. The voice begins listing off a series of ingredients and measurements. You guess this spoon must have a lot more tricks up its sleeve than you originally gave it credit for. Technology really is amazing. You begin to what was that? You begin to reach for the bag of flour, but with lightning speed, Jane leans over and grabs it herself. She doesn't even seem to notice that she had to bat your hand out of the way. Is this going to be the bad end? Oh well, that's alright. Jane seems to know what she's doing, and you'd hate to spoil her fun. In the blink of an eye, she has the flour measured out and reaches for the butter. A very solidified bovine extract. You will comply. Yeah, sounds like condensed technology already. Jane continues her work in a thorough and efficient manner. And the spoon continues reading out instructions in a calm, steady voice. It's somewhat soothing. Even oh, okay, I I didn't pronounce it calmly, even if the choice of vocabulary is a bit strange. It certainly seems to be relaxing Jane. What? Her face was a picture of intense concentration, but now her eyes appear dim and distant. She could almost be asleep. You're just coming to terms with the idea that baking with Jane is a spectator sport rather than a team game, when a sudden noise snaps her out of her trance. Oh! Her hand goes to her apron pocket and she fishes out her phone. Something on the screen makes her face light up. With a gentle excitement, you think you catch the sight of something green, but she doesn't give you a good look at it. I have to, take care of this? Whatever it is, it seems to got Jane into a bit of a tizzy all of a sudden. She thrusts the spoon in your direction. Here! Just follow the instructions, you can't go wrong. This is all happening so fast. Being entrusted with Jane's precious spoon and so early in your friendship, this must be a very great honor. She obviously believes in you, in you a great deal. Okay, that was a bit weird. Oh god, there was a lot of text going on while I wasn't looking. Specific order, just guessing. I thought it would be Jake or just Kins and chat folks. Roxy will be Kins required. Obey Jake. James precious spoon Lamar. Yep. It's probably answering Jake. And I didn't recall the spoon itself actually having that like weird mind effect that Roxy was talking about when telling Jane to not use the headset. Because that seems a little bit off. But oh well. You try to assure Jane that you won't let her down, but she's already too engrossed in her phone to acknowledge it. You sigh to yourself knowingly, for all her antiquated phraseology and old-timey aesthetic, Jane is still a teen at heart. Add ingredient to vessel, commence liquidation, obey. Oh yeah, we should like an ASMR reader, like one of those girls who do voice ASMR. They should do this voice. I haven't watched any or seen any, so I can't think of anything, but I know they exist because of the all ASMR hype that has been going on last year. Oh shit, you were so caught up being judgmental of a young person that you completely lost track of what you were doing, which was dissolve desiccated cocoa in boiling water, submit to your labor. Hey, hang on just a minute. You just barely managed to remember what the previous instruction was before the spoon moved on to the next step already. Oh god, what were the other ingredients you needed to add? You can try to guess, but there are too many things on the counter, and you don't know what half of them even are. You spare a glance at Jane, hoping against hope that she's noticed your plight, but she's far too distracted to help you right now. You'll just have to work it out by yourself. She's counting on you. Think. Damn it, think. Hold cocoa paste in to make haste, the end is nigh. Eggs! You don't remember doing anything with eggs, but the spoon definitely called for some a while ago. In a blind panic, you grab one and toss it into the bowl. Only after you've stirred it into the mixture, you do remember that it's generally best to remove the shell first. I once tried to crack a shell for pancakes, crack an egg for pancakes, and then the entire egg fell in. And then when I tried to take it out, it broke in my hand. Oh. This kitchen looks fine, not gonna lie. Having Jane's spoon should probably snap. Sure, Karen. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Pour cream into a small saucepan and heat over low flame for a few minutes, ensuring that it does not boil or simmer. Once the cream is hot, remove the saucepan from the heat. Cease Cease reproduction? Hold on a second. The calm robot voice isn't soothing to you. Not anymore. Its dulcet tones have become your tormentor. It wouldn't be so bad if it would slow down for a moment. Is there a speed setting on this spoon? If you just had some more time to think. Are you sure you would like to start over? Wrong button. You can't go back. Not now. You cancel the prompt and grit your teeth in a grim determination. You can't fix this. You have to fix. You can't fix this. You have to fix this. Crack. I'm an egg. Crack me. Bucket of milk? No. I don't know you that well. And you probably live far away. Megiddo, if you really just want to learn how to crack an egg in general, go into your take an egg, go to your bathroom, aim for the bathtub, and smash it so hard you can against the drain. Then you have to clean up afterwards, though. But in the bathtub, it's way easier than somewhere on the floor. Voila, you cracked an egg, even though it's a mess and waste. You have to fix this. It's like Jane said all those minutes ago when she sent you on this quest. You can't go wrong. It's at this moment that your eyes land on the bag of sugar. The noticeably opened bag of sugar. It's just sitting there, smirking at you, with a look of unbearable smugness to the colorful lettering on its face. Who, me? What could you possibly need me in a cake for? You tear the bag open and dump the entire contents into the mixing bowl with an ice-cold fury. Then you toss its gutted, lifeless husk into the garbage where it belongs. Wow. Outside could also be a thing. Also, Sonic the Hedgehog, do you like the redesign of your movie persona? Revenge has never been sweeter. Oh lordy, sorry to leave you in the lurch for so long. I had to deal with a friend in his daily moment of personal crisis. Although that's not really saying much, quite frankly, most of his life seems to be one long personal crisis. And I suppose I'm hardly in any position to complain. I do so like his company at the end of the day. ... So anyway, the cake. How have you been managing? You don't look up at Jane when she comes back over to you a few minutes later, seemingly oblivious to the devastation you've wrought on this poor kitchen. You stare down into the thick, lumpy batter sitting in the bowl in front of you. I'm just imagining MSPA readers sitting like on the floor, like legs spread apart, arms in the air, like what have I done? And just like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. A lump berry singing in front of you, and in that stodgy curdle mess you cannot help but see yourself. A complete and utter failure. I'm going to see it this month. Oh cool, it's out this month already? Oh, I didn't know. Well, at least not in Germany, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Not His Time and He's Dead both are correct. Like, the John we knew is not in this universe, technically speaking. And the only John-ish thing, the only John that could be considered a John is dead. Going to die of shame again. You really stop doing that. Every time Hussey runs out of ideas, he just kills John. That's not entirely true. Whenever he runs out of ideas, he turns to fanfiction writers. That was mean, I'm sorry. You stare down into the thick... Okay, alright. Is everything alright? You want to tell her, to explain that, no, Jane, everything is not alright. It's all gone to shit. But you can't look anywhere except down. You can feel the bottom falling out of this friendship opportunity like that of a poorly supported Victoria sponge. Once Jane gets a good look at this batter, it's game over. You just know it. As she peeks over your shoulder at your handiwork, you brace yourself for the dreadful moment you felt so many times before across countless alternate selves and timelines. You watch for the telltale signs of a person deciding that whatever pathetic and somehow yet unspecified creature you are, they don't want you in their life. But strangely enough, the moment never comes. Instead, Jane puts a hand lightly on your shoulder and gives you a gentle smile full of teeth. There. No need to pull a face like that. So yes, this ended up being a little bit of a misadventure, but it's not the end of the world. But Jane was counting on you, and you let her down. Well, on freaking baking, it's not like on Alternia where the cake will eat you if you don't bake it properly. You had something that needed to be fixed, and you couldn't manage it. As on so many other occasions during your journey, you only made things worse. You tried to convince Jane of your guilt in this matter, but she simply shakes her head. Oh, psha. I have no idea how to pronounce that correctly. You did nothing of the sort. You tried to make the best out of a bad and confusing ordeal. Nobody can blame you for that. Even if your best is, admittedly, a little suboptimal. But sometimes, when things go wrong, it's not a simple case of being able to fix it by soldiering on blindly in the face of adversity. Sometimes the only way to set things right is to cut your losses and start over from the beginning. And that's not really the same as giving up. True words. This Jane is 16. Because Jane, Roxy, Dirk, and Jake have been 16 when they came in contact with Spurp. She's understanding, I love her so much. Janie, these new writers are fanfic writers. I know, Sergeant Matuna, that was the joke. Some of these, yes. Most of them, yes. At least from the new writers. Like, at least most of which I heard of are or were fanfiction writers before they got into the boat. Not all of them. Like James Roach, I don't know if he ever wrote fanfictions. He was a music artist and then just wrote a route in Homestuck, which was a nice route. In Homestuck, in Pesterquest. You try with all your might to swallow this good advice Jane is giving you, but the look on your face must not be all that convincing. Jane sighs. Look, I'm sorry for abandoning you in an unfamiliar situation. It wasn't very responsible or leaderly. And it's certainly not becoming of a future president, corporate or otherwise. You suppose that's true. You guess you can accept that this mess was a group effort. Even in failure, it's important to acknowledge the power of teamwork. All the same, you hand Jane's rosy red spoon back to her. You are not worthy of its solemn mantle. Besides, some of the stuff that the road voice said was beginning to seriously freak you out. Honestly, it meant a lot to me that you're willing to indulge my little hobby for a while. It may be the career path that I've been following my entire life, but you'd be surprised how little I get to talk about it with anyone I'm close to. Anyway, wasn't the whole point that we were getting you something to eat as thanks for saving my life? Oh yeah, you guessed you did do that. Good job. Your chest puffs up instinctively a little A little with pride, but the motion causes your still empty stomach to make its presence felt again with a loud gurgle. Speaking of which, we still need to take care of that. Letting a friend go hungry is completely unacceptable. So how does giving it another try sound? Here's an idea. If you pick the recipe, I'll take care of the rest. I promise that I won't get distracted this time, alright? Yeah, that sounds nice. Especially the part where Jane called you a friend. That was the nicest part of all. Oh, this is actually the end. Cutting your losses. Cutting your losses. It's kind of interesting to me to see that this Jane in like the end scene picture, whatever, is less Homestuck comic-esque than the other characters were in their final picture. Because in like from John all the way to let me lie, Solux. Let's say Solux. They looked a lot more Homestuck art style-esque. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all. It's just a different kind of representation, and that's fine. That's cool. Wait, what? Here, you can look up the recipe using this. I'd lend my phone to you, but, well, you know how it is with privacy. Hoo-hoo. Jane hands you what appears to be some sort of computerized tiara. Stylishly cast in Crocker red plastic. You guessed you just put it on? That's not too complicated. You've seen more peculiar user interfaces in your various travels across time and space, that's for sure. The device fits snugly on top of your head, despite your apparent lack of ears. You feel the unreal Hyris Thoughtwave tiara top begin to mesh psychically with your own brain, as you are mentally hooked up to the limitless potential of the internet. Just a freaking shitload of cat pictures. That's the internet already. Every facet of human knowledge is at your cognitive fingertips. Your mind is awash with 100,000 pictures of cats in silly poses. Wow. Well, not all of them are silly, but all of them are adorable. Jane is ready and waiting for your instructions. All you have to do is reach out. You begin to comb the web for something tasty, and you will surrender yourself, and you will cease reproduction, and you will comply, and you will comply, and you will comply. Okay. Why the entire cease reproduction thing? Is this new and basically a communism joke? Like seize the means of reproduction stuff? Because what? I mean, sure, the humans died out, but through the contests and everything, but was there ever a big thing about seizing the means of reproduction? Seize reproduction was about humans on Alpha Earth. Yeah, but huh. Kenneth wanted them to die out. This phrase was always there. It was? Okay. I didn't recall this specific phrase. Because It seems like a phrase I would have remembered. Either way, or at least have been reminded when all the seize the means of reproduction memes came up. Wait, what? All at once, something hits the inside of your skull and begins to ricochet around your synapses and neurons, seeming to fill every corner and crevice of your brain with a deafening wave of silent noise. A single instruction uttered with incalculable force, impossible to ignore. Your mind, so susceptible to outside influence, is no match for it. You feel a million sharp pains as a million neural pathways are rearranged to form sharp angles and ordered lines and circuits. And in a blinding flash of light, her design overwhelms every part of me and consumes every atom of me, and then retransmits and amplifies the whole in concert with her will. And I cannot know any different, because this is all that I am, and it is so much more than I was. And I see her worthless protege's face twist in a look of horror at the sight of my transformation, but I do not spare her a second glance as I look skywards. I am free of such concerns now. And in the eye of the mind that now belongs to her, I see the place I need to go, and I reach out with the power I stole and step forward into it. And in her, okay, yes, Condess, apparently, wow. And in her throne room, I kneel beneath her smile as she sets a curse for everywhere. There are problems in this universe that require our attention. Problems in this universe that require our attention? And I, her new weapon, smile too. Like, I mean, if the Condess gets her hands on Redcon power, she's pretty much able to beat everything and everyone. We're going to fix everything. Fix? Don't tell me you're doing a redemption arc for the Condess. That sounds a lot like... Oh, wow. The red made everything else green. Condess wanted them to die out. Okay. You can check the beginning of 6th act. The chat client Jane uses is filled with apps that say a lot of mentions like obey and cease reproduction. Okay, I know that. I knew the obey part, but cease reproduction I didn't remember. Page. Okay, that page. I see now why this volume was delayed. Damn, the Condess did nothing wrong. Oh no. See, Casey Egbert, please. I hope this is not where they're going. Because, but fix? Huh. And the symbol is replaced by There's like, damn. Yeah, we got evilized. And suddenly they were talking not in a you perspective, but in a me perspective. That is really interesting. Like, I know Homestuck has gone into a direction where all those things are mostly just jokes and stuff like that nowadays, but my theorizing mind is like that MSPA reader suddenly changed from, like, that the text suddenly changed from the you perspective into a me perspective, considering the MSPA reader. That is hugely interesting for me. That is hugely great for me, but I know probably doesn't mean anything in the end. Because that's the route that Homestuck has taken recently. But, or Pesterquest, I should say. But yeah, that, like, if this would be a game like Undertale or a game like Kingdom Hearts or like any other that that is very fixated on its lore to stick actually to it and stuff like that, I would be highly concerned and highly curious. In a good way, in a good way. They can't redeem Fish Hitler. Y'all should have voted solve a mystery somehow. Looking at her, you see somehow who did nothing wrong. Oh no. Casey Egbert, please don't. Fix wasn't about Condess, it was about making everything right from her perspective. Your sentence is a little bit confusing, but yes, okay, that was what I was thinking as well, Julia. Like, but what from her perspective needs to be fixed is interesting to me. Like, maybe because her homeworld basically got destroyed and she wants to fix by reclaiming the Trollian race. By, like, redoing the Trollian race, whatever. Contest redemption. Oh god, no. Stop trying to give us flashbacks to Briscott's route. Yes. Okay then. Oh, no, we have one route more to do. We have one ending more. Which is, Reconsider, I think it was. And it was solve a mystery. Oh, what happened to the stream? Probably the Alpha Earth needs to be fixed. Game over comes back. Oh jeez. We don't talk about Risk's route ever. Transcontest. Yeah. Oh no. Like, Transcontest wouldn't even make any... Like, that would be the least sense-making of them all. Because it has been stated they're always female and all that. But whatever. Either way, let's continue on. Solve a mystery. So, is this the good ending? Or the bad ending? I guess it's the bad ending because we got kidnapped by the Condess. But... weird. There are still Toblerones to claim. To be entirely honest, I love Toblerones, and I loved the entire Toblerone meme and all of that through the entirety. And I love that they have become such a great mark on the fandom, because I love the Toblerone bar itself. But these entire shenanigans with Find a Toblerone and you basically get a wish to change whatever you want in Homestuck is making me dislike them. I actually went into a store and saw a Toblerone in the store being like on sale, and was like, the first time in my life I looked at a Toblerone and went like, eh. And then I realized like, oh fuck. New Homestuck ruined Toblerones for me. I know, Julia, it's all bad. It's all good. It's all good, not bad. It's all okay, not bad. Never mind, we're gonna continue. It's been bothering you for a while, but for someone who claims to follow in the footsteps of the very gutsiest of gumshoes, Jane seems pretty unmotivated to find out who's been trying to murder her all these years. Perhaps you should use the means at your disposal to finally put this mystery to rest once and for all. You suggest to Jane that maybe you should try to ascertain who the parcel was sent by. By whom was the parcel sent? What? Grammar, silly. It's very important. Don't speak to me about freaking grammar. Don't. Oh, of course. You suppose you agree with that. After all, this is a text-based medium, and shoddy craftsmanship can only ever obscure information. True. Superworm, yes, I'm sorry you're late, but I was also late a little bit, so... Toblerlicious definition makes the fans loco. Yes, like, I love the taste of Toblerone. Like, Toblerone is one of my favorite chocolates that's not in like, I have like 3 different types of favorite chocolate. One is Toblerone, because honey and honey, they're not really like honey crumbs, they're like honey diamond sprinkles. I don't know how, it's like very hard for what honey is supposed to be. And then I have After 8, because After 8 is freaking delicious, and I'm British. My British roots are all over After 8, and like mint chocolate. And then fruit chocolate yogurette, if that says you anything, but like chocolate with like fruits, like with fruit yogurt in it, and that's so delicious. Like, those 3 types of chocolate are my favorite all over the place. Oh, of course. Okay. Proper adherence to linguistic conventions is of the utmost importance, ensuring the conveyance of salient details in a timely and comprehensible manner. Yes, thank you for finally stating this. But damn it, Jane, now isn't the time. You've got a case to solve. Yes, alright. But what exactly are you proposing what we do? There's very little evidence that we could feasibly collect. The 2 of you look forlornly out of the window again, down to where the mailbox should be. Jane's right. That avenue of investigation went up in smoke a few minutes ago. Well, you can still gather some information from that explosion. The investigation has barely gotten started, and the trail has already gone cold in a blazing ball of fire. Arguably, but okay. I'd suggest asking at the mail office or similar, but I don't suppose they know anything detailed about the package's origins. It's not like regular mail workers have access to that kind of information. Well, in Germany they do. Like, they do need to know where it comes from in order to deliver it, even if it's just like it came from that office. And then you know the general area where the package got, like, sent from. And nowadays you don't have to put your address on a package that you send to others, but it used to be that way in Germany, at least. I don't know about America, though. I have no idea about how it works in America. To make matters worse, the mail is one of the few public services Crocker Corp doesn't partially own. So, wait, what? Oh, because, yeah, Crocker Corp was overtaken by the Condesa and she took over basically everything, so, yeah. So I wouldn't be able to pull any strings. I don't suppose there was anyone watching at the time the bomb was placed either. You have to admit, the possibility seems somewhat remote, but that gives you an idea. If there aren't any witnesses to hand, why not make some yourselves? What, bribe someone to falsify testimony or similar? That's certainly a novel way of going about it. Jane seems to be giving it a lot more thought than you would have expected, but in any case, that wasn't at all what you meant. You explained to Jane, far from merely being able to transportalize between any 2 physical locations, you also possess the ability to time travel. No, to just time travel. Time travel efficate isn't a word. That's not how the word works. To any point in the past and or future. Not to be rude, considering that you did just save my life and everything, but that does sound more than a little far-fetched. Jane seems pretty skeptical about this, but you honestly can't be bothered to work through all of her personal misgivings about belief and feasibility of time travel right now. You've been through this with more than a dozen people already. Yeah, true. You decide to take a more proactive approach. Seeing is believing, after all. You grab her wrist and zap back in time. It's always a bad idea to meet your past selves. Meet past Jane. Jane, meet future Jane. You trust that this will suffice as evidence. I don't... Alright, moving on. You purify next to the bush that you hid behind earlier, and take refuge in it once again. A conveniently abandoned wristwatch on the ground nearby indicates that you have traveled an hour into the past. Conveniently abandoned wristwatch on the floor. Okay. No sign of the white cat yet. The mailbox is there in all its beautiful unexploded majesty, but stands empty as of right now. This is perfect. All you have to do now is wait for the truth to come to you. Jane, isn't this exciting? Jane? 911, what's your emergency? Please note that misplaced apostrophes on shop signs do not constitute an emergency. They don't help. I'm stuck in the past. Lemao, yes. What tipped you off? Was it the fact that nobody else talks like it's the 1920s? What? No! I mean this entirely literally. I am quite literally stuck in the past in a temporal sense. Oh my god, wait, really? Who told you that? Was it TT? I bet you... Oh my god, Roxy, it's so hard. I'm sorry. I bet it was TT. Yonking my thunder GDI stride. No, you're not listening to me. I have been transported back in time by a mysterious entity who recently saved my life from yet another ridiculous assassination attempt. Oh. Okay. Damn, false alarm, AG. Wait, GCAT can time travel now? No, this is a different mysterious entity. They don't seem related to the Godcat as far as I can tell. They rescued me from a parcel bomb in the mailbox a short while ago and have since taken it upon themselves to help me find out who was responsible. They're remarkably enthusiastic about the issue, almost as if it were their civic duty somehow. So a number of mysterious abilities, intimate knowledge of mail safety, and a compulsion to aid random citizens. Are you sure this person isn't just a mailman, Janie? I mean, a mailman. Yeah, sure. Like, to be entirely honest, sometimes mailmen like run up the door, ring the bell, and instantly disappear. That exact moment they ring the bell. So maybe. I thought you learned from your mistakes last time. You have ruined the German Jane headcanon. The German Jane headcanon? Huh. Drunken hath spoken. So, I've seen a mailman time travel before. Casey Egbert, I'm curious to learn it, but maybe in the Discord server, because in the stream it can be distracting. I'm sorry. Are you sure this person is... I mean, who knows what kinds of magic those little guys can pull off? Oh, she's talking about like the carapace, like the dudes from Prospect. I'm pretty certain they have absolutely nothing to do with the profession of a mail delivery in any practical sense. Anyway, the point is, we're now an hour in the past from our perspective, waiting for the perpetrator to place a bomb that not a few minutes ago threatened to blow me to Kingdom Come. It's all a bit much to take in. Well, shucks, Buster. Shucks, Buster, indeed. Well, While Jane has busied herself with something on her phone, you have been keeping a lookout for anything suspicious. So far, nothing has happened, but now, just out of sight, you can hear the telltale sound of a vehicle approaching. You quickly gently elbow Jane in the ribs to get her attention, and the two of you peek your heads tentatively out of the bush. You watch as an assuming van pulls up outside of the house. You keep watching as an unremarkable person gets out and carries a small pile of mail over to the mailbox, totally unsuspiciously. From this distance, you can't really make out anything about them at all. This isn't nearly as helpful as or informative as you had hoped. This is no good. We can't see anything from all the way over here. I think we might have to resort to one of the more advanced tactics in every detective's arsenal. I propose that we accost this delivery worker, tie them up, and then scrupulously interrogate them for any information that they might have. That's a little bit straightforward, but okay. You guess that would work? Jane seems remarkably unconcerned with the ethical qualms inherent in assaulting a public servant, and at some point you would have found this extremely alarming, but after a few months on Alternia you are so accustomed to this kind of thing that the thought of actually disagreeing doesn't even occur to you. Jane gets into position to lead the charge. You reach your hand into a tier in reality, rummage around for a moment, and retrieve a long length of rope from somewhere in Therese's hive. You can just grab through reality now, okay? Hopefully she won't miss it. You mutter a quick prayer of apology to the guardian deities of mail workers everywhere, and then, now! The two of you leap from your hiding spot and tackle the hapless stranger, just as they are about to climb back into the van. Have at you! Jane is brandishing her trusty spoon as threateningly as any sword. The spoon defenseless postman is... The poor defenseless postman is taken completely by surprise and topples to the ground. You quickly tie their arms and legs, and then zap all three of you back out of sight behind the bushes again. Then Jane sets to work. She fixes your captive with a cast iron stare, and with ruthless efficiency begins to rattle off a relentless stream of astute and insightful questions. Her tongue is like a whip, beating her quarry into submission. You watch in silent horror as she verbally dismantles this unfortunate soul piece by fearful piece. It's like watching a dozen interrogation scenes from a dozen gritty crime dramas and noir detective flicks all at once. She pretends to smoke an invisible cigar at one point, seemingly without noticing at all. Oh boy. Wait, was Jane's chum handle glitzing through this area? Yeah, why? I've been talking a step back from the music as we shift into the final stretch for other... probably do at least one more. Anyway, sorry, this track's kind of short, James Roach. Wait, what? What pumpkin projects? Not all alpha kids getting music. Huh. Other what pumpkin projects? I am equally concerned and curious. She pretends to smoke... okay. You don't even have words for what she does with the spoon. Okay. When Jane finally pauses to catch her breath, the nameless and faceless courier manages to choke out a few words and spill the beans. It is a scant few beans, you are sorry to say. They say they don't know much. Hell, with the dame roughing them up like that, they can't even remember their own name. But they do remember the mysterious package marked "Handle with Care" and addressed to the Crocker residence. They say they remember thinking that there was nowhere else the package could have been headed. with a surname like that, it was only fitting. You know, with that big red spoon on the side of the box and everything. Wait. Oh, so it was a Crocker package, okay. Makes sense that the Condess wants to get rid of her. ... Jane doesn't say anything else. She just stands up and unties the prisoner. They are free to go. You flash them a look which you hope says something like, "I'm sorry for helping this distressed teenager tie you up in order to satisfy her curiosity, and I appreciate your ongoing public service. But you've never been great at nonverbal communication." ... exclamation mark. A notification rings out from Jane's phone. Perhaps chatting to a friend in this trying time will offer her some comfort. You wander a short distance away, allowing Jane some space to process what's happened. You've learned that the hard way that privacy is a fundamental right that should always be respected. How goes the investigation? Did you threaten a retail worker or something yet? Oh my god, Jane, you did it, didn't you? GDI, we've talked about this. Jane, are you okay? No. I can't believe that I'm typing this. The company, my company, it appears that they were the ones who sent the bomb. Okay, you're right about them, I suppose. You're being serious right now? You're not, like, pranking me super hard for the megalords? No, of course not. I'm hardly in a joking mood. Jane, this is great. What? You finally pulled through. The batter bitch had the wool over your eyes by knowing more. I'm so happy. What? No, this is awful. Alright, of course. What I meant was that... Ark, will you please stop... Just stop talking for a second. I can't think with your endless ruddy-faced blithering all the time. I nearly died for the upteenth time this morning, but survived only to have my entire worldview start to collapse before my very eyes. By way of some mysterious time travel magic. Jeez Louise, this is easy for you. In fact, this must be Christmas and birthday come early for all three of you. You finally got that what you wanted, which was to prove me wrong. Your insane collective conspiracy about my entire life being part of some evil plot looks like it might just hold water after all. Congratulations, go on, go on, say that you told me so. Here, I'll even type it out for you to copy and paste so you don't have to worry about more fuckface spelling errors. I told you so. No? I'm not really sure what to say. You're kind of scaring me. I'm sorry. This is scaring me too. Jane sighs. You guess the conversation must be taking a turn for the heavy, but you can't say for sure. You're feeling good about your decision not to pry into this private discussion, even though we still know what it is. We've been getting this thrown around sometimes, possibly friends and DLC coming with Trissa, Demix, Critter, and question mark. Not confirmed that it's really happening though, just that they would like to do it. What did I miss? Jane is being a jerk to Roxy again. Yet again. She's not being a jerk to Roxy. She's having a mental breakdown and Roxy is... well... being Roxy, so I can understand when you just lose your cool for that moment. And she is sorry. I mean, if you're scared and mind-fucked like this, you say things you really don't mean. It would truly be some kind of fucked up to intrude of a vulnerable moment when someone are rarely seen at their best. It feels as though I'm in the middle of an ocean. Scratch that. It feels like my whole world is an ocean. Something so immense, so dark, so vast, deep, that I can't even begin to imagine what might be beneath the surface. Everything that I have ever known, everything that I've ever been is sinking down into it and vanishing with a nary a trace. And my only solace is to jump off my own volition before I'm pulled under by force. And what is someone going to catch? And what? Is someone going to catch me? Help me stay afloat? The only float my best friend in the whole world has any familiarity with is flipping cocktails. Oh my god, Jane, you know you're like being kind of mean and exasperated right now, but it means a lot to hear that I'm your best friend. I love you, heart. Grr. Well, please, I'm only trying to express the depths of my existential confusion over here. The ocean, Lalonde. The abyssal infinite ocean. Can you even imagine what that's like? On a second thought, never mind. This whole analogy is contrived and nonsensical. And it couldn't possibly have any emotional relevance to anyone. Another sigh. God, I'm sorry. I'm not handling this well at all. I mean, to be honest, no. Yeah, but, well, who would? I mean, imagine you finding out your, like, the entire meaning of your life was a hoax and was trying to kill you. I was gonna... No fish at the redemption arc. Oof, if you missed, like, almost everything. We are about at the end. But I'll be right back. Liber? I don't know what precise arrangement of emotional responses would even realistic ally qualify as quad handling this whale. Fish pun for topic appropriateness. Like, e.g., I had like this whole plan for how I'd get you to accept the truth. And it would have worked because, let's be real, I'm a fucking genius. Fucking. But also, well, you didn't misspell fucking, so... I'm pretty sure that it would have involved blowing up a whole bunch more shit. Or at least mega escapades. How about shenanigans? Oh, you know it. Shenanigans out the ass. The point is, I knew that it would be hard. Maybe hazardous to our relationship and or your physical health, but I knew that you were worth it. And also what it's worth. What? Nope. I don't give a effing fuck about dunking on your ass. None of us do. With the third and final huff, Jane slumps down on the ground, visibly deflated. All the tempest and fury is gone out of her, and now she's just sitting and gazing glumly at the wall of bubblegum pink on her screen. She seems utterly miserable. You want to comfort her, to offer solace and friendly counsel in this trying time. There comes a moment in every teen's upbringing when she realizes that the globe-spanning multi-billion-dollar corporation, which is her birthright, has also been responsible for some pretty shady and heinous nonsense, including multiple attempts on her own life. It's just part of growing up. No, but okay. Official is worse than real Hitler. Pumpkin Party. I mean, kinda. Sure. Depends on what points you pick, but yeah, I would guess so. But it's easy to make a fictional bad guy. Just make them an absolute cockworth. Either way. But somehow you just can't find the words, and maybe it's not your place to comment anyway. Before you can think of something to say, Jane shakes her head and starts typing again. Alright, that's enough sitting around feeling all forlorn. I'm feeling okay, actually. No, me. I'm talking about myself. This new reality is one that I simply have to accept, whether I like it or not. And it's no good being glum about it. Especially not if it leads me to mistreat my nearest and dearest. So I'm not going to be the leader of worldwide mega corporation. Big deal. There are better things to be applying my savvy towards. The friends who have my back, for instance. Oh my god, Janie! I'm loving this new enthusiasm. I understand I've been remiss in my duties as of late, but that ends now. Where once I had a duty to my heritage, now I have a duty to those who care about me. Oop, why is that? No, don't, stop spamming me. No, no, no. Mother, stop. 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 Okay, it's silenced now. Duty to those who care about me. The call of leadership comes from elsewhere. Oh, ONGS. These words you're typing, meaningful and full of poignancy. Look at her. Jane strikes a pose that looks at once determined, bold, fearless, and resolute. And all while still typing furiously away on her mobile. It just goes to show how hard she must have trained for a moment like this. And so, for my first act as a responsible friend with eyes unclouded by the sugary gaze of a manipulative baking empire, I say that it ends here. The game in which we've been pawns for years stops today. Yes, hell yes. I think I've rather gone off the idea of games altogether, haven't you? Specifically the game. Hell fucking yeah. Wait, what? The alpha. I've decided that I'm not going to participate. It's a Cocker Corp product, and it's clearly part of some grand evil scheme or whatever. Or another. It'd be positively suicidal to consider playing it at this point. Well, yes, but what? There's no doubt in my mind about it. Everyone else ceased playing Spurb altogether, so why shouldn't they? Furthermore, as your friend, and as one recently reminded of her duty of care in this regard, I feel like I should strongly advise against any of us playing it, or anyone at all for that matter. Now that I think about it, it's our solemn responsibility to ensure that nobody ever gets their hand on this game. Just imagine the havoc it could wreak. ... We've got 1 week before the alpha is due to release. I'm certain we can think up some nefarious schemes to disrupt it in the meantime. If we work together as a team, I trust I'll be able to count on your hacker skills, Sig, in this endeavor. Sure, completely accidental lack of excitement. My 6 skills are yours to command. I knew it. You're the best BFFC one could hope for. Love heart. Jane clears her throat, pockets her phone, and seems to have reached some kind of conclusion. That chat looked from the outside like it was one huge emotional journey from start to finish. You're glad that Jane seems to be feeling better for having had it, whatever they ended up talking about. Sometimes all you need is a friend to vent things towards in a healthy and productive manner. I suppose I should thank you again. Without your help, I may never have learned the truth. It's quite possible I would have lived out the rest of my potentially very short life without another opportunity to see things for what they really were. I don't know how I shall ever repay you. Since nothing today has changed the fact that Jane is ludicrously wealthy, you can think of a great number of ways that she could feasibly repay you. But that might just be pushing it a little too far all at once. So instead, you effortlessly spin some yarn about this being what friends are for, and so on. It's a speech you've given many, many times before. Oh, wow. Look at this passion. It's literally fiery passion. Just, oh wow, what? I'll just make him completely redeemable like our little combi here. In case you stop, will next Pesterquest Roxy, it's most likely Jake. Isn't the other Roxy Jake? I think it's Jake out, it's unconfirmed, so I'm gonna, let's for some quality eats. Okay, eat some good things, Casey. Connie didn't, JC under my control, like record, feels like it. I've depended on you for a great deal, but now I think it's time to forge my own path, and under my own steam. I'll show the world what Jane Crocker can accomplish with naught but her two bare hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an existential crisis to avert. To avert? Existential crisis. Oh. Oh. And now that I think about it. Also, so you can see, this is the thing. And I'm back here. The camera seems a little bit off for some reason. Either way. Essential crisis averted. We could dig further. And there's nothing new. There's nothing further. The true good ending, yes. So... yeah, there's not much to say about this route, in my opinion. Besides me having a really sore throat. Like, I could feel gradually the soreness of my throat increasing. And it's hurting to swallow now. So now I have food that's really tasty. It's cold, but now my throat hurts. I will get sick. I hate this. I have so much to do. I can't get sick. I have so much to do. Yeah, either way. I've a lot to do in the, like, this week and next week maybe as well, because I still have Kingdom Hearts to do, and I dread those boss fights, especially the Xemnas and Terranort one. I dread them so much because the boss fight I thought would be the easiest, and that seems the easiest if you consider like how the fights went before. The Luxord boss fight seemed like it would have been the easiest, but hell no. Like, if you've seen the previous video that I uploaded yesterday, I think, it took me 3 hours and I didn't do any progress. The video is just half an hour long because it's just the basic story intro and then me dying a bunch. So I cut it up. But yeah, I dread those bosses, and I dread that I actually, like, record hundreds of gigabytes worth of stuff happening, but I can't edit it down to only like 2 minutes of me saying, well, I didn't do it this time, I have to try again. Well, not again, but I have to try later because and then that is not worth uploading, so I'll just wait with the next upload, and that makes you wait for the rest of the content. I just hope I can manage to beat at least one boss. But either way, this is a different game and a different topic. About Pesterquest, Jane's route. Very Pesterquesty, very straightforward. The dream part was really disconcerting and really weird, but that is what dream sequences are for, basically. Unless it's a game about, like, the dreams having importance and whatnot. But, yeah, you got what I mean. And, yeah, I mean, the Gamzee's comment about gender equality was... I just think it was utter bullshit just to make, like, a comment and that's it. And I mean, Janie lashed out a little bit more at Roxy than you would think from Homestuck normally, but she just got her entire world destroyed, so that's excusable. And the art style is really cute. It's well drawn. The only thing I would mention is some of the, like, just a few of the sprites, like only 2 of them, seemed a little bit like the artists have never drawn, or like only scarcely drawn chubby characters before. Like the head seemed a little bit in the wrong size or shape at some points compared to like the rest of her. But yeah, it was pretty good. There's not much or anything to really flaw about in this episode, which is nice for a change. Yeah, I know. Like, we had Pesterquest episodes where I would go on a full rant, and this one's just like, yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't over the top great. It wasn't. It exceeded my expectations. Like, it was better. A little bit, just a little tiny bit better than I would have expected, and it didn't meet any of my fears. Like, none of my fears came to fruition, which is nice. Like, I actually was scared that Epilogue Jane would make an appearance. Like, not actually Epilogue Jane, but like that this timely version of Jane would be portrayed like the Epilogue Jane. I was scared of that happening. But either way, this route was okay. I'm hyped for the next volume, though. It honestly wasn't as bad as most of the other routes, says Sergeant Matuna. I mean, sure. I wouldn't say that any one of them were necessarily bad, because you can always argue that at least, like, the production quality is decent. Like, for what the game is, graphically, musically, it always has been amazing. Even though they have reused music, and like from like Homestuck and stuff like that, that's totally okay. That's totally fine. Sometimes it's just the way it is, and sometimes it's just the most perfect thing to fit. But yeah, the only thing that has been constantly flawless is the music. But yet again, you can argue with me there. That's just my personal opinion. And in the end of the day, that's what a personal stream is about. To gather also the opinion of the one who streams, I guess. At least, if you're here for only the story, that's totally fine. Then you clicked off and away already, I suppose. But yeah, either way. Yeah, honestly, Furphy's route was flat out disappointing and Versus' route was bad. Well, your opinion, but let's say your opinion is shared with a lot of people. Furphy's route, not really disappointing, but it felt lacking. It felt like a little bit, there could have been more to it, but yeah. That's it for today. My throat is really, really sore. My hash browns lost all crunchiness and heat. They're cold. They're cold as a brick. And they're not crunchy any longer because they are soaked in applesauce? In apple mush. The only, Sergeant Matuna says, the only of the trolls route I found good or okay was Carcat, Tavros, Solux, Equius, and Nepta. Equius I really liked. Nepta, I don't know, for some reason, because of like the putting the humans into play and all of that, it felt a little bit weird, but I still enjoyed it. Tavros, was also cool. Carkit was like, from all the trolls, I think Carkit's route might have been the one I enjoyed the most so far. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but probably Carkit. Aradia was cool and nice, but it wasn't the Hive-bent Aradia, like the Aradia from past and whatever, that what I expected and what I really would have been really interested in. It was the future Aradia, the aware of shenanigans Aradia, which it isn't disappointing to me. It is just, I kind of would have liked to see, like, the other incarnation of Aradia, like maybe a still alive Aradia or Ghost Aradia, maybe even, but still alive Aradia would have made for a better story arc for Pesterquest and all of that. But yeah, Kanaya's route was really the biggest disappointment ever. Kanaya's route was a disappointment for you? I really don't think so. Like, trying to recall what could be disappointing in that route. Can't think of anything. They could have done more with everyone. But yeah. Well, Cockard was pretty out there and Vriska was overdone, but yeah. They could have done more with most of them. Kanaya's route really lacking? I don't think so much. So human routes are way better. Well, probably because they have more time developing them. Because in all the troll routes, they basically made 2 trolls in one volume, in one release. So they had like less time, less stuff, like less on their hands to actually do them. While on the human routes, because we just get one per patch update, volume, whatever, they have more time to flesh them out. They have like more resources to flesh them out. But in the end of the day, if they pick like one works on the text, one works on the art style, one works on the music for each and every route, no matter the route, then that is not a thing that can. Yeah, then that point is invalid, basically. The early troll routes were good, but then it went either okay or bad. Well, yeah, but... I mean... Kinda. That's your opinion, and I partially agree with you. But yeah, unless your name is... Wait, what? I would like Ghostly Aradia for Pesterquest. Which... your route is the best ever. And, well, I wouldn't say Eridan's was the best route ever. But either way, this is the end for today. I really want to eat my food and want to cure out my voice. So I am lucky that I actually have already recorded something that I can edit and put up for tomorrow. But Friday will be a problem. Maybe. Possibly. Because if I actually get sick, I kinda need a time off. Because it is absolutely not enjoyable to watch me play games while I'm sick. Especially if I'm getting a cold. Which it actually kind of feels like right now. So, who knows. Either way, you are starting to talk in character troll talk in there, which is totally fine, which is totally cool. Sure thing. Also, Casey Egbert, I really like your profile picture in combination with your name. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please leave a like. That would be greatly appreciated. If you enjoy my content and want to see more, I would greatly appreciate, well, our content I should say now, because Dario uploaded his first own video. Oh, well, technically I uploaded it because of data stuff and all of that, but he made a video and it went up Sure, it ended in a disaster quality-wise because we had a bunch of technical difficulties that we couldn't fix. But it is his first video, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm really happy that he is able to, like, put a video out there. But I'm horribly sorry that I wasn't able to help and make the quality any better. It just didn't work. But oh well. Either way, it was still an enjoyable thing. Like, for me, it was enjoyable to watch, even though the information I really wanted out of the video, like for myself, I couldn't read that much because the issues that you will see, but it was enjoyable to watch him go through the quests and stuff like that, even though there's no commentary from him, so... Either way, I hope you enjoyed. This is my outro now. Finally, I sincerely love all of you guys. And we'll see each other either in Discord, in the link in the description below, or in the next video in the stream. Cheerio! Bye bye and cheerio. Bye. Bye bye. 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 Bye.